gentlemen, welcome to my channel, and I hope you're all having a great day. For one, I certainly am. But yeah, obviously we're doing or finishing the classic car part 2, where we're going to be taking classic cars around, obviously, circuits. And obviously, last time out we did that, and we got our final 6 classic cars, and I'll run through them now. So we've got the 1979 Ferrari, the 1982 McLaren, the 1992 Williams, the 1998 McLaren, the 2004 Ferrari, and I'll just give you the final one. I believe it's 2010 Red Bull, of what I'm aware. So yeah, we've got our final lined up, okay, everyone. And yeah, we're gonna see which one of them 6 cars is the fastest. Now I've put them in categories. So category C is the 79 and the 82 Ferrari and McLaren. Category B is the Williams of 92 and the McLaren of 98. And category A is the Red Bull of 2010 and the Ferrari of 2004. So yeah, we'll get straight into them in this video. I, for one, cannot wait. And the way it's going to work is basically, okay, we're going to do 2 reasonably short circuits, roughly, sort of thing. And we're going to do 2 laps, and basically, yeah, that's what I meant. We're going to do 2 laps around one reasonably short circuit, Austria, okay, and we're going to see, how the lap times are. Obviously, I have no idea who's going to win this, obviously, so, put your money on whoever you feel free. The reason why I'm doing this special series is because, as some of you may or may not know, Formula 1, in my opinion, is back. And what a better way to celebrate the return of Formula 1, but with some classic cars. Because in my opinion, not in my opinion, but yeah, Formula 1's back, obviously. Because obviously, Haas Formula 1 team launched their car today, and race livery for 2019. And from next week, on Monday the 11th, we've literally got one whole week of Formula 1 teams releasing images and revealing what colours their car will be. Obviously, we can guess majority of the colours of cars. However, there are teams on the grid. Maybe McLaren. Well, actually, no, I doubt McLaren. But certainly, there are teams on the grid. Force India, for one, or Racing Point, should I refer to them. Will they still have that pink livery? Williams, what colours will they choose? Will they still go for the white, blue, and red? Well, they can't include red anymore, but certainly white and blue, of course. Then you've got Alfa Romeo. What colour will they go for? Because obviously, there are just so many questions. Obviously, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. Well, Mercedes have hinted that they've changed their colour of their car, but certainly Ferrari and Red Bull most likely will continue to do the same colours for 2019. So yeah, there won't be much of a change there, because obviously all Ferraris have turned out red. I can't really remember a Ferrari in Formula 1 that's been otherwise but red. So yeah, obviously it's still interesting to see what shade of red they go for. Anyway, on with this lap. This is the 1979 Ferrari. I don't know why I don't have my my on-screen displays. Right. Just gonna. Sorry about this. Right. Don't really need off. Don't need. Well, it could have flags. Don't need start lights. Yeah, I like that on usually. Driver tags. Yeah, why not? Lap delta on, delta time on, show lap counter on, personal information on, track map And rev counter on. There we go, right. Should all be normal now. Right, anyway. Through turn 1 we go then. On this lap of Austria then. As we head up into turn 2. Obviously. Heavy hairpin turn 2. Got to try and get it absolutely right. Then down the hill. Keep car to the right. And let the car go. Obviously, you can't expect the best lap time in a car like this from obviously this type of car. So, going to do 2 laps per car because we've only got 6 cars today. And also, for 2019, I will be bringing back modern car versus classic car. So, yeah, you know, it'd be really interesting. We'll be doing it before every race weekend. Classic car versus modern car. So yeah. Alright, so we're on our 2nd lap now. To let you guys know. So we've only got this last lap to make it count, and obviously the best lap time will be the one that's counted for. So right now a 1:23. If we don't beat that, then that lap time will go down as our best. Bit wobbly, no! We ballsed it. Well, as I said, the 1:23 will go down as our best. So there we go. Yeah. I have no idea though how that's going to affect things. Will it give this now McLaren an easy win over the Ferrari? Or what will happen? So obviously, this McLaren only has to go do realistically 1 lap. So if this McLaren beats that Ferrari in 1 lap, I'm not going to waste time doing another lap in this car. If you know what I mean. So yeah. Anyway, first lap in the McLaren around this circuit, of course. Again, obviously we're looking to beat the Ferrari. Most likely will. But if it doesn't, oh dear, bit slidey. And yeah, that is certainly maybe brought things into play a little bit. Car got all loose. And you have to be quite gentle on the throttle in this car. It will snap, honestly. Right, I've no idea how we're doing compared to what we did in the Ferrari on our first lap. Of course, are we doing better? Are we doing worse? That's the question. Only 2 more corners to go now to find out whether we've beaten the Ferrari's lap time. I think we might have, but I'm not sure. Don't get me right on that. Right, what did the Ferrari do? I think the Ferrari did a 1:23.3. So we're gonna go obviously for another lap because it ain't clear cut, but that's a much better exit out of that corner. Already, I know we're a second up on our previous best. So yeah. So this is going to be close between, I think, the Ferrari and the McLaren. Obviously, only if that Ferrari had this second lap cleanly. Right, I think we're going to be able to do it. So it is going to be an improvement by a massive amount. Almost a second and a half. Then the McLaren does take the victory. But I do want to check whether it took it on the first lap or not, obviously. We are going to see, obviously. But yeah, the McLaren on 98.82 is your Group C winner then. So yeah, we will, in fact, go up, do a 1 or 2 donuts, and then we'll skip on to the next, what you call it. So yeah, it's a beautiful car this is to drive in some sense. You know, this was really when they really started getting things right in Formula 1, in my opinion. They started evolving into what Formula 1 is today. There we go, that's enough donuts. Let's have a quick look in replay cam what that would have looked like. Nice. Right, on to now the 1992 Williams, of course. That will be first in this heat. So, no. In fact, the Ferrari went quicker on the first lap than the McLaren. And that's quite a surprise to me. It was only a small margin. Don't get me wrong. I think the McLaren had like 2 of them laps in the tank. In all opinion, in all honesty and opinion. But yeah, it was interesting to note that. And in the final sector, in fact, the McLaren, why is it not green? Oh, because, yeah, that makes sense. But in terms of all sectors, you can clearly see, well, in the first sector, actually, surprisingly, Ferrari's roughly the same. Second sector, again, not much to choose, realistically, if we did that Ferrari lap, I don't think. We probably found a second as well. So that would have been closer, I think, if we did not make that mistake. So in a way, that one is on my shoulders, if that makes sense. We didn't get the clean lap in. However, obviously, as I said, okay, you know, if we make a mistake, then that is it. So your winner for Group C is the McLaren of 82, which is the quickest Group C car. Now into Group B, the Williams of 92 and the McLaren of 98. And again, this could be a really another close one. I think this is not just as clean cut as you may think. This Williams does handle well, and it is quick, believe it or not. Anyway, out of the final corner then, again, for another lap then of this circuit. And this Williams, trust me, ain't any slouch of a car. It handles really, really well. And it also has a lot of power to give as well. On top of that, this is a really, really nice car to drive all the time, in my opinion. Honestly, if there was maybe a few cars that I could drive in real life, this would have to be one of them, up there with maybe the Red Bull of 2010, because it sounds nice overall. It is nice, I think, overall. Anyway, make a small mistake, but nonetheless, we will have obviously a second lap. So we don't actually have to nail the first lap, but it's nice to get in a good first lap. Because obviously then you can hopefully learn from where you've made your mistakes throughout maybe a lap. And already that's into the 115s. Commitment through that. Bit of a worm, as I would describe it, sort of like snaking. Alright, beautiful exit. Alright, final corner. This is going to be a new personal best for me around this circuit in a 9082 Williams. Wow, what a lap. Incredible. A 113 point, I think 9 or 8 or something like that. Brilliant lap. That was absolutely fantastic. Cannot complain. But we've also got a very strong contender here in the 1998 McLaren as well. So let's not write anything off here. As I said, this could be a very surprised one. Bit like the Ferrari here, actually. The Ferrari, I think, could have done a slightly faster lap than the 82 McLaren. So yeah, you know, obviously, you know, we won't know for sure. But I think it was there or thereabouts. Anyway, here is the 98 McLaren. So again, obviously this has to go quicker than a 1:13.9. That is the lap this has to contend with. And yeah, you know, obviously it's not going to be easy for the McLaren, as you know. And already, look at that Williams. Already pulling away. But thing is, will that Williams, you know, be quicker in the corners? I think that's where this car really has the pace, and it's the corners. But we've got to extract it from the corners. We will have to see. Right now, 7/10 down. Bit of a concern. Obviously, no setup on any of these cars. And right, next lap is invalid, but we will count it, because obviously I don't think that's fair, having our next lap invalidated. If we cut any corners, I'll judge it. But yeah, nonetheless, we may not beat that Williams anyway, because we're already half a second down. And this is literally everything this car's got. And I promise you that. Especially with no setup. Right, 3/10 down still. Two tenths So it's going to be close, but not close enough. So, yeah, the McLaren of 98 has been beaten by the Williams of 92. Wow, what a surprise. And that's also the second track. In fact, this car has been beaten, in all fairness. It got beaten at the first track we did on this series, which was, where was that? I think it was, where did we do the first track? Oh, I'm just trying to think. It was only a few days ago. I should know this. Was it Australia? I think it was. I'm confident it was Australia. But yeah, so yeah, that's twice now. 2 circuits, and it's been beaten. So yeah, incredible. As I said, it was going to be close. This certainly did not take, didn't have it by storm, if that makes sense. So yeah, the McLaren of 98 has been beaten, tragically or sadly. But anyway, that's good for the Williams in some sense, because yeah. Next up though is the big boys then. So only 2 more cars to come. The Williams, the Ferrari of 2004 and the Red Bull of 2010. But anyway, your winner for Group B is the Williams of 1992 that Nigel Mansell drove to his World Championship. But next up is, as I say, the 2 big boys. And yeah, I cannot wait. This is going to be, I don't know how close. I think, put it this way, it could be as far apart as possible, and it could be at the same time as close as anything. I know that wouldn't make a lot of sense if you really think of it, but it really, really does, because this car here is hands down on paper the quicker of the 2 cars, especially in a straight line, but in the corners. And this track does reward a car that does do well in corners. In the corners, this is probably the slower of the 2 cars, but yeah, we're about to find out anyway. Right, if we can get into maybe the 110s on the first lap, then on the second lap, maybe into the 8s. Right, cross the line now. It's a 107.5 first lap. Not bad. Right, that's a 106, then 0.8. So that's 470th also on the new leaderboard. So not bad then there for the Ferrari of 2004. But what can the Red Bull do now? That's the big question. Because if the Red Bull beats that lap time, then that is unreal, if you know what I mean. Because obviously this could be very, very close, and it could also be as far apart as anything at the same time. Because obviously that Red Bull in a straight line undoubtedly is not that quick. And in all fairness, also to the Red Bull I don't think has ever driven around here, especially this Red Bull, or done a competitive lap time. So, in all honesty, I have no idea how this car's even going to behave around this circuit. The Ferrari, you know, is a bit more different. It has technically, I think, driven around this circuit. So, yeah. Anyway. On with the lap then. And you can see already the difference between the Red Bull and the Ferrari in a straight line, and that Ferrari is literally leaving this car in its wake. But then in the corners, will this car gain? We gained actually 2/10 through that little hairpin. And that's another 2/10. Right. 2 seconds down already. A 109 first lap. I want to restart that because it did say invalid lap time, so I'm going to restart that lap. That's the only time we're going to do that. I really want to see what this car has to give. Oh, you're having a joke. Oh, well, I don't think it... I reckon the best you could probably get this car to, in terms of time-wise, would probably be within maybe a second of that Ferrari. It's mad the difference between that car and this car. And the thing is, that varies circuit to circuit. A circuit like Monaco, this probably could easily lap that Ferrari a second quicker. But a circuit like this, this Red Bull has no chance. It's just the speed and the engine power that does the difference. And yeah, regardless of how fast you can probably corner around here, it's the engine at a circuit like this. Does explain why also no car has actually beaten realistically a Mercedes outright at this circuit, because even in 2018, last year, even though the Red Bull did win at this circuit, we've got to remember as well that the Red Bull also, how can you put it, didn't win through its own power. It actually won through 2 retirements, one from Bottas and the other from, Hamilton. It's a lovely car though, this, undoubtedly. So yeah, do 1 or 2 donuts quickly in it, why not? See how good the donuts can be done in this car. Right, take it nice and gently across. There we go. Oh, balls. Well, that's it then, ladies and gentlemen, for then today. So, obviously, from the categories that we've done, obviously I'll put them into categories Group C, B, and A. And your winner from Group A is the 2004 Ferrari. So, your winners in order are like this. So, from Group C, the McLaren of 1982. The winner from Group B is the Williams of 92, and the winner from Group A is the 2004 Ferrari, meaning your runners-up are also as follows. The Ferrari of 1979 from Group C, the McLaren of 98 from Group B, and the 2010 Red Bull from Group A. So yeah, they are your winners then. Ow. Why did I leave my cup there? On my armrest type thing. Oh well. So yeah, anyway, that's your winners, sort of thing. And they're your runners up as well. So yeah, you know, obviously that is that then, of course. If you did enjoy this video, please smash that like button. Also, do leave a comment down below of your favourite classic car. Mine personally would have to be, as I said, either the Williams of 92 or the 2010 Red Bull. And maybe even the, I don't know why I'm going out on circuit again, but yeah. Or, you know, even maybe the 2004 Ferrari. That's a really nice car as well. But obviously, don't get me wrong, there are also other cars that I'd love to drive that I haven't mentioned in this video. For instance, the 2013 Ferrari. That's my favourite car of all time. You know, overall, because, you know, that was the car that my hero, my idol, Vettel, won his 4th championship in. And went on that amazing run of victories at the end of the season of 9 race victories. Gotta remember that, you know. So yeah, you know, for me that's like my favorite car, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you know, obviously, yeah, it's you know, like, yeah, can't really explain anymore to that anyway. But yeah, so they are your winners, obviously, them 3. If you do like it, I will release more maybe videos like this in future as well. Also, when the new F1 season do come around, I will be releasing a video like this for every race weekend. So first up will be Melbourne, Australia. Obviously, when that does come around, I haven't selected the cars that I'll be doing. Obviously, I'll be most likely utilising the 2018 cars, but obviously, like I said, you know, obviously, yeah, you know, obviously you can't get the 2019 cars as of yet, because they have not been released. But whenever they do get released, we will start utilising the 2019 cars and do a comparison between the 2019 cars and hopefully classic cars, if any are in the new game, which I would have thought should be being released or going to be released. Probably, I don't know when, but I would have thought roughly that August period, like always. However, there have been rumours that Codemasters may release the game early and may actually do a DLC rather than the actual full game. Now, in my opinion, that would be quite cool. A DLC, so it would have obviously the 2019 cars and maybe some extra classic cars. But of course, you know, would it work? How good will the DLC be if they did do a DLC? You know, and could they maybe add 1 or 2 new features into F1 2019? Who knows? Because obviously some people have been saying that, you know, or showed scripture of F1 2019 is actually in the game's scripture. Now, that could be a reference to multiple things. Maybe they're going to add on to F1 2018. Who knows? They did do a similar sort of thing, Codemasters, back in 2015, if you remember rightly. Because they did actually bring out the 2015 game, but they also included 2014 cars, because they weren't actually fully satisfied, obviously Codemasters weren't, with the 2014 F1 product. And you know what, I wouldn't blame them. Don't get me wrong, F1 2015 was not much of an improvement, but it was better than what we had, especially in 2014. 2014, F1 2014, the game was literally a reskin of F1 2018. Of F1 2018, sorry, of F1 2013, that's what I meant. And F1 2013 was a great game, but F1 2014, oh jeez. I think that was, believe it or not, I actually went through this period in Formula 1 games. F1 2010 I played happily. F1 2006 Championship Edition, oh I loved it. F1 2010 I loved it. F1 2011 I loved it. F1 2012 I didn't love it, if that makes sense. As a racing game, it was probably the most serious out of the franchise. But in terms of the quality, the depth in the game, in terms of what you could do on and off track, was probably the least for the time. So I tended to play it, but I didn't fully enjoy it. F1 2013 I actually enjoyed quite a lot, of course. However, at the same time, having said that, I wish they could have done more for that game. It felt a bit empty, okay, and it started to get this pattern. And F1 2014 was probably the worst game they've ever released, Codemasters, in all honesty. It's probably between that and F1 2015. That game, F1 2018, F1 2014, was literally diabolical. In terms of the cars, they were real, of course, but the graphics was poor. Yeah, it was just terrible. They didn't really have the full licensing. They didn't have all the correct details, like, you know, it was just a terrible game. And the career mode was no different to, obviously, F1 2013, which made it even worse. Then F1 2015 came out. Now, don't get me wrong, that was obviously I think it was the first game on PS4, if I'm correct, that actually got to PS4. However, for me, the problem with this game wasn't whether or not, you know, it was a good or bad game. In fact, it was probably a better game F1 than F1 2014. But they literally stripped this game to its bare bone. Literally, there was nothing left of the game apart from what they created. Had no safety car, the rules were very lenient, online was as bad as, who knows the right word to even use. But yeah, it was just appalling as all games go. Like, yeah, it just was not a good game overall. And the quality of the game was just not that great. But on the other hand, it was fun. In terms of graphics, they were the best, probably for quite some time. In terms of a handling model, again, a very, very good handling model. Well, it was average. In terms of how long it lasted, it would only last maybe a month, but you did tend to play it longer than a month, so it probably did last. It lasted in terms of about probably a good 5 months before you would actually get bored of the actual game. And yeah, you know, it was good. Obviously, you know, you liked it and you thought, you know, this is probably actually you could see where the creators were going already with it, and you actually did think, actually, if they deliver another game, okay, how are they going to better it, or what are they going to improve? Because I think you could see what they were trying to do. They tried to make it look more neater, and they did that, I think, successfully. They wanted it to feel more, or handling wise feel better, and they did that, I think, successfully. So in my opinion, they did do a lot successfully in F1 2015. Then F1 16 came out, and that was the big leap, in my opinion. Handling wise, career mode wise, again, it was just a leap back in the right direction, in my opinion. And obviously F1 2017 then obviously came out, and that was again another big leap. And then F1 2018, in a way, I feel it's a reskin of F1 2017. However, okay, I do think they have improved certain stuff, and they've made it more detailed than ever before, which is true. And yeah, you know, but I do think, as well as adding, I do think in terms of some things, they have actually made a little bit worse. You know, but yeah, you know, that's a different video for a different time. Anyway, I'll see you all later for, you know, another video. Next video will be round 4 and 5, the Azerbaijan and Spanish Grand Prix. So do come back for that video. Do come and enjoy that, which will probably be coming out one of the next few days. So yeah, see you all next time. Have a great evening.